My teachings are based on my experiences, my raw, candid, authentic truth. Anyone can learn from what I've learned. This is me, my story, my methods, my healing, my overcoming. Thank you for stopping by. So today I want to talk about what happens when you go back to your sin. What happens when you are on the right path, you're trying to do the right thing, you're trying to get it right, and then you decide, you know what, the temptation is too much. I can't, God has offered me a way to flee from this temptation as He's told me He would, and I just want to go back to the things I used to do. And what made me think of this? I'm always looking at, what's going on in current times, trying to stay current with what's going on, because that lets me know, okay, this is what people are dealing with, or this is what I need to pray for. And I thought about Kanye West. He's been in the news for positive things, and then he's been in the news for negative things. And you think about somebody who's such a genius, who has such a high calling on his life. God has allowed him to have a platform to really reach and touch lives. And so he was doing his Sunday service. He was, getting his life right. And I think about my own personal experience of, wanting to, do the right thing, wanting to promote the word of God, and then you start taking losses, because what happens is the enemy, the devil, is the enemy of God. So as soon as you sign up and boldly say, hey, I'm on the side of God, guess what? The enemy is coming for you. So he's going to try to kill, steal, and destroy your relationship with God, your faith, your focus, the things that you stop doing. He's going to start bringing more and more temptation. He's not going to make it easy for you to just switch sides. It's like being in a game, jumped in, he going to try to jump you out, right? So I think about Kanye and people who are in, the status, the mental status, or the, they appear unstable to us, or they appear like one day, they all forgot, the next day they playing for the devil. Those people are usually the people who have the highest calling on their life. When you are, when I say high calling, okay, God has given in the fivefold ministry, or those who He has called. Many are called, few are chosen, right? Those who He has called to teach, those who He has called to be a pastor, to be a leader, to be one who is leading people and drawing people to His word, whether it be the office of, exhortation, where you are in the loving ministry, where you come in, the people who embrace you at the front door, or if you are in the ministry of, outreach, there are different, God has given each of us different positions, purpose, title in His kingdom. And so those, when I say high up, high calling, meaning that before we were created, God has already assigned the plan. He has already assigned who was going to be called to us, who He needed us to reach. And so some of us might have 100,000 people we're going to reach. Some people might have 100. Some people might have 1. But you can tell how high the calling is determined by what the person is going through. So, for instance, myself, I've been through, I've experienced loss, I've experienced addiction, I've experienced abuse, I've experienced being in prison, I experienced being a single mom, I experienced so many things that I am able to counsel and talk to and reach and be a light and be a proof and be an example to so many different people who are going through or have gone through what I've gone through. So that makes me know that I have a high calling. I'm assigned to many people because I've been through many things. And so those who God has chosen to really lead, be pastors, be shepherds, those people are the ones who go through the most. And a lot of times they go through it publicly, because God is trying to raise them up publicly to use them for His good, and the enemy is trying to bring them down publicly to use them for His good. And so we see those people go through those battles in the public eye. We see those people go through those battles and it looks like, oh, he's double-minded, he's unstable, he's not, genuine, he's just pretending to love God. And that's not always the case. It just happens to be, because I've been there. I've been in a space where I, was doing the wrong thing, and then I decided, okay, I'm gonna live right, and I wanted to live so right. I've gotten to points where I would write my sins down each day, like make sure, okay, I'm doing right, I'm living right. And then trial, tribulation, obstacle, problem, things will begin to happen, and then you'll be slowly see yourself, what they call backsliding, or going back, or moving, pulling away from trying to live righteous, or trying to live holy, or trying to pray, or have a relationship with God. And so once you start to go backwards, okay, the word says it's like a dog that returns to its vomit, okay? The word also says it's like if you clean, if that house is cleaned up of the spirits, and then the spirit is allowed, those even evil spirits are allowed to re-enter into that home, it doesn't just come by itself. It brings 7 of its friends. That means the times that I went back to my mess, when I went back to smoking, when I went back to drinking, I smoked even more, I drank even more, I was promiscuous even more, I was sensual even more, I did whatever I was dealing with, went back to God, and when I went back to dealing with it, it got worse. Why? Because the devil's like, I really got to get a stronghold on you. Last time you left me, last time you went to God's side, last time you switched sides on me, so this time I really got to draw you, I really got to get you, I really got to make sure that you are going to stay on my side no matter what. And so he'll make it, a lot more tempting, he'll make it more addictive, he'll make it more convenient, he'll make it more attractive to the eye, he'll make it more easily accessible for you, because he wants to make sure that he has you. And so he's going to turn up the fire and draw you closer to what it is that's going to draw you away from God. Let me say that again. He's going to draw you closer to what it is that's going to draw you away from God. And so when I look at Kanye, I understand. Because I've been there, and I know what it's like to publicly and outwardly praise God and acknowledge God, and then go into such a deep and dark space where I'm publicly embarrassing God, and I'm publicly not looking like, or not portraying who God has called me to be. And in my heart, I still love God, because I have a foundation. I was raised in church. I know who God is. I know. But at the same time, it's like, okay, Lord, I feel like you left me stranded. And a lot of times people will have beef with God. Let's just keep it real. People will have, so many questions that went unanswered, or they feel left. They feel forsaken. Everything that God tells us that he will not do in the Bible, somehow we let problems, circumstances, and situations trick us into feeling like we are left, we are forsaken. The burdens we can't lay down at his feet. We begin to live in a reprobate state, which is living opposite, or a perverse state, which is living opposite of all the promises that God has given to us. And so, to wrap this up, how do we stay on this side? Exactly what I was just mentioning, by remembering the promises, even if it don't feel like it, even if it don't seem like it, even if it feels like it's taking too long, even if it feels like there are physical things, people, situations that are blocking you from going towards where God is taking you, or for waiting it out for him to come and bless you, for him to come and heal you, for him to come and change your situation. You have to stay steadfast in the word. And sometimes you just get tired of being tired, because here's the thing. When you go back to the devil, right? And you go back to the enemy, and you go back to your old ways and your old habits and old circumstances that are not serving you, you realize that joy is temporary. That high that you used to get before, it ain't the same high. That drunk you used to get, it ain't the same drunk. That feeling of satisfaction that you used to get, God will remove that feeling of satisfaction from you. He will remove that craving. He will remove that desire for you to do that thing that you used to do, that the devil had you doing. And so those things will become no longer attractive. But guess what? He does it in his time. I think about, all the addictions, all the ways that I've had that God removed in his time. And I didn't know when it was going to happen. It's like he did it suddenly. In Spanish, they say de repente. It just happened out of nowhere. And I didn't know. He didn't give me a warning. Hey, tomorrow you're gonna stop drinking. Hey, next week you won't smoke weed no more. Hey, in 2 days from now you're not gonna smoke cigarettes. Hey, in a few days from now you're not gonna fight anymore. You're not going to curse people out. You're going to be more of who I call and designed you to be. No, it's a gradual process, but in the process, I do remember asking God, please take this away from me. Please take this away from me. I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to feel like this anymore. I don't want to have this feeling, this addiction. I don't want to have this hanging over me. I want to be whole. I want to be healed. I want to be healthy. And sometimes we get tired of being tired. Sometimes we go through tragic situations that will draw us closer to where God is calling us to. Sometimes it takes a major loss. Sometimes it takes us being humbled back to God, where He allows things to put us in a position where we have no choice but to pray. We have no choice but to call on Him. And sometimes He just speaks to our heart in the softest manner. You'll be doing something, riding, driving, whatever, and hear the Lord say a word to you. And that comfort that He brings, it makes you realize the enemy don't give me no comfort. Ain't no comfort here. This is all temporary. This is all paid for. This is all materialistic comfort. This is all what I'm thinking is satisfying, but you can have all the things. Let me tell you, I am a material girl, okay? I like things, and I will shop and shop and shop and buy and buy and buy and travel and travel and travel, and I would still feel the same way. I would still feel empty. I would still feel defeated. I would still not see myself making it to where I am now. And so here's the thing. I had to learn how to be still. I had to learn how to feel good where I was, with what I had, with who God called me to be. I had to learn how to realize that my satisfaction is not in the things outside of me, but it's in the spirit that God has given me. My satisfaction is in His power. My satisfaction is in the word that He has hidden in my heart. My satisfaction is in the fact that I'm living my purpose. That's when you feel fulfilled. I could get up every day and go run my trucking company, but if I'm not teaching, if I'm not writing down His word, if I'm not reading His word, if I'm not doing what He purposed me to do, which was to be a light and to teach and to help heal and motivate and uplift and mold and shape and draw people to Him, then I'm not satisfied. Why am I not satisfied? Because I'm not fulfilled when I'm not fulfilling my purpose. And so that's all it is focusing on what we were called to do, focusing on the purpose of God, focusing on the promises of God, focusing on the patience that God has given us. What if God is causing you to sit still? Start to think about, what is God trying to show me? What is He trying to tell me? What is He trying to get out of me? Because think about it. Every situation that you go through, it gives you tools, it gives you knowledge, it gives you strength to prepare you for the next part of your journey. Whether it's something that you might teach, whether it's something you might use again, whatever it is adding to who you are in your life experience. Because when you go through it again, you be like, oh, I remember, I've been through this before. Last time I did XYZ. This time I'm going to do it this way. This time, I'm going to make it better in this way. But you learn how to make it better. You gain that wisdom from your experience. So we don't always have to look at situations like, woe is me, or why me. We have to realize, what is God trying to perfect in me that He allowed this thing to happen? Is He trying to increase my prayer life? Is He trying to increase my faith? Is He trying to increase my wisdom? Is He trying to increase the love in my heart? Is He trying to increase my compassion? Is He trying to increase the gift that He's placed in me? Is He trying to sharpen me? He will allow things to happen only to make you better, because His word says, for all things work together for the good of those who are called and who love God. And so He purpose so many great things for our life. Even, as we are talking about Kanye has such a gift. He has such a way with words. He has such a way that God has really anointed him, right? And the devil knows that. He knows who is called. Just like we know who is called, just like we know who is on this platform, so does the enemy. And so the enemy will try to get you to play yourself out of your position, out of your purpose, out of your passion, out of who God has called you to be. And so rather than looking upon him and judging, understand, hey, when I start getting tested and I start going through more trials and I start feeling like I want to go back to who I used to be. I want to call such and such. This is too hard. I want to do, let me tell you, it gets tempting to go backwards. But when you realize, you know what, this temptation is here because I'm called. This struggle is here because I'm called. This situation that I don't prefer is happening because I'm called. When you realize, when you have a high calling on your life, you're going to experience more obstacles because you need more training for where God is taking you. You will begin to embrace the process, and guess what? You won't go backwards. Have a great day. Want to read about my transformation journey and find out how you too can overcome any obstacle? Visit Amazon right now to purchase my book, What is Too Much? How to Do Too Much the Right Way.